All
All
right, are we
right, are we
live?
live?
Okay, so
Okay, so
good morning,
good morning,
mommies. Good
mommy.
morning
Good
to the
morning
mommies
to
I
the
have
mommies I have
here with me on
here
the
with me on the
broadcast and to
broadcast
those
and to
watching us
those
on
watching us
Facebook.
on Facebook.
So we
So
are
we
Boholana
are
Mommy
Boholana Mommy
Tribe.
Tribe.
We
We
originally came
originally came
from
from
Breastfeeding Bohol,
Breastfeeding Bohol,
and this is a
and
support
this is a
group for
support group for
moms,
moms,
and it's more
and it's more
encompassing
encompassing
than
than
Breastfeeding Bohol.
Breastfeeding
Kay
Bohol.
apil
Kaya apil
karon
karon
ang young
young
moms,
moms,
ang older
ang older
moms,
moms,
apil ang
apil ang
moms
moms
na
na
empty nesters
empty
na.
nesters na.
So we would
So
like to
we
encourage
would like to
everyone to
encourage
join us
everyone to join
today
us today
as we talk
as we
about
talk about
mental health
mental
for
health for
mothers.
mothers.
And without further
And without
ado,
further ado,
our special
our
guest
special guest
is
is
Dr. Joy
Dr.
Bueno.
Joy Bueno.
Just to give you a bit
Just
of
to
a
give you a bit of a
background, she's
background,
a
she's a
psychiatrist,
psychiatrist,
a fellow
a
Philippine
fellow Philippine
Psychiatric
psychiatric
Association
association
diplomate.
diplomat.
No, she's a member of the
She's a member
Diplomate
of the
Philippine
Diplomate
College
Philippine
of
College of
Addiction
Medicine,
Medicine and Medicine
Medicine, and
Specialist at
Medicine Specialist
GCGMA.
at UCGMA.
Then Dr.
And
Joy
Dr.
is
Joy is
a mother of three.
a mother of three.
She's a
She's a
breastfeeding
breastfeeding
advocate,
advocate,
and she's the wife
and she's the
of
wife of
Francis Raymond
Francis
Bueno.
Raymond.
Good morning, Doc.
Morning, Doc. Morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am. Morning.
Thank you for
Morning,
joining us
everyone.
today. Salamat kay mo
Salamat kay mo.
Ami.
It's a pleasure.
Gidawat among invitation for today.
Sure, anytime.
Okay. So, Doc, I think Mommy Hannah will help with the technical presentation. Shall we begin?
Okay. Okay. So, I think this is a very timely topic for each one of us here, especially for moms and for everybody, because COVID is something that came as a shock for everyone. So, it is a fact that every day there is an challenges could potentially affect or arouse our emotions, our reactions, or even stresses us out. Like I know most of us here could relate, but like, di ba, most of us think as motherhood as something stressful initially. Like if we were first time moms, we were the end time moms like me, the third time din ako nga mother. But there's a certain kind of stress that we'd encounter. Or for us who are choosing to exclusively breastfeed or not to breastfeed, it could be stressful. Or there will be an illness, it could be stressful. In every stressful situation, roller coaster of emotions, pero the difference between COVID fact show that this is not just gonna be an acute stressor, meaning this is just kalon lang or kanang mawa ra dayon pud gihapon. Okay. So for one, it is already considered by stressor. So syempre it could elicit certain reactions to us. So makuyawan ta, ma-worry ta, where after a while, when things gets better, mawala siya. But with these chronic stressors, it creates a lot of a lot of reactions from us. Like for example, biologically because of the stressor, mag-increase atong heartbeat, mag shortness of breath ta, things like makuyawan lang siya. But with the difference with the more potential, example, chronic stress reactions could lead to physical arousal, fatigue, sleep disturbance, frontliners diri, like for example, magsigi kag huna-huna nga unsa ka tong nahitabo ganiha sa hospital, tingalig nganong namatay man to ang patient or something like that. So it will be recurring in our minds. Avoidance, like for those who are on duty, di na lang ka ko mo-duty kay tingalig mas stress kog samot, but I have no choice because I'm a nurse or things like that. Feelings of worthlessness and guilt. Like for example, kung my family is in Cebu and I'm in Bohol, then there's that feeling COVID free ang Bohol, so technically we're safe. Pero how about those kanang akong family members nga nasa Cebu? So murag na guilt ba nga I should have been there, unsa kag naa sila diri, those kind of feelings. And of course, those feelings of grief. So far we're blessed nga wala pa man ta ana ka kuan na diri sa Bohol nga naay namatay or anything, but for especially for frontliner moms, lisod i-handle na a kind of emotions, and we're not talking about it nga usa lang ka day. This I have to highlight. These reactions are normal reactions. So ayaw na nga hala nganong insomnia man ko, nganong guilty man kay ko, because initially these are normal reactions that could happen fast. Dili nimo to yun bisag unsa ka pa ka psychologically oriented, how well you take care of yourself. So number one, you have to recognize these emotions, these feelings. But the difference is how you respond later on. Kana bang kibaw na ka nga naa ni pero imo siyang gi-nurture. Like for example, kaning feelings of guilt. Magsige ra kag ka-guilty so di na lang kaganahan mo trabaho ing ana. So because of that, it might create certain consequences. Like if not taken care of properly, it might lead to anxiety nga disorder na siya, depression, and even insomnia. Okay, like specifically for example, usa sa mga norms, I will be talking about a little about sleep hygiene later. Sleep disturbance. For most of us nga murag na quarantine sa balay, lahi ang atong sleep disturbance. Usahay compared to before, matatag alas 6 kay mo trabaho. Karon, matatag alas 11, alas 12 kay wa bitaw trabaho. And then we feel guilty the whole day. Wa ko'y nabuhat. Sayang ako day. Current norm, momni ang changes. So how do I make changes? Kay eventually affect our patterns later on. So again, for all of us. So with this kind of situation, so we have to have
I think Doc dropped out. Hello? Nawala siya. Sorry guys, we have a bit of a technical difficulty. I think Doc will be right back as soon as she can. Okay, so mga mommy, while waiting for Doc, na nakarelate ko sa ang sleep disturbance thing. I think for most moms, well ako makatugman ko, pero not the same quality of sleep kay maghuna-huna bitaw ko nga unsa na po'y buhaton ugma nga naa sa balay, nga ang mga bata how to protect. Na ay doc pa. Hi doc.
yeah, sorry I got lost. Okay.
Okay lang na.
Sige.
We,
Could I continue? Sorry ha, kay there was a
or
kuan
we
sa
were we were
connection,
talking lang,
technical
Doc,
kuan.
while you dropped off. We were talking, we were having concerns nga with our sleep. Yes, we have the same time quality siguro of sleep, pero for now when we wake up or before we sleep, we're more anxious nga inig mata unsay buhaton sa family, kin
Mm,
ara sa balay whole day, or enough ba ang level of protection that we're
mm.
doing when we go out, iniguli sa balay. So yes, stressful gid siya kaayo karon nga time.
Uh, yeah, we have to recognize it nga it's stressful kay kung ma-exaggerate pud nato nga hello ngono man niing ani ma-anxious jud kasamot. So
Yes.
we have I will be basic some coping strategies nga pwede na to categorically according to kung tanaw nimo different recommendations. There are three components of psychological first aid nga pwede na to mabuhat. Okay. Number one is social support, relaxation, and healthy habits. So, ato siyang tagsa-tagsaon. Social support, kani is very important. Kay, as you've mentioned, ma'am, lahi man karon kung saan man imong support kung naay social life ma-stress ka, you go to the coffee shop, invite your friends over, chika-chika, but now there's social distancing. So the challenges, I'll be more specific sa with new moms particularly is lisod kay, di ba? For most of us, especially if first nato nga baby, mo ara ato mga relatives, manha imong in-laws, manha imong parents, now they can't. So you really have to mo unsa man ako kay baon say buhaton. So encourage to be discharged early kay tungod sa fear of infection. So may tabo, there's not much enough time nga mag-guide jud sila on to teach them about proper breastfeeding. Yeah, even sa atong mga pedya, like example, I just gave birth lang si baby, ayaw lang sa ipa-check up kay tungod sa kani nga situation. So, it's okay for me because this is not my first baby, so medyo dili ka ayo worried. Pero for first time ma'am, mura kag mapaning hala, di pa ko tan-aw ni doc. Normal ba kaha ni? So, there are certain things that is brought about by these changes. So, what could be done? So, for us, they say ang isolation is not a good thing for moms, especially for first time moms. What could we do for it? So on this end, Ngarita as a group would come in very significantly. The recommendation is the highlighting of virtual lactation groups, especially for first time or not even non first time breastfeeding moms. Okay, we could still talk to somebody, we could still teach somebody through kanang parehas ani webinars kanang mga kuan kay actually that will just to resolve the uncertain thoughts that the mother could have at that time. So mo lang, it's nice that we have a group put down your questions. Like, when I was a first time mom, I was afraid, normal ba ni or gamay ra breast. So, at least, in groups like this, somebody could reassure na, oh, gamay pa man kay hanlanon nga milk sa baby. So, things like that gives a certain comfort to the moms would have anxieties. Another issue about social support is the question of should the babies be separated from moms para in kaso dili matakdan. Ang recommendation is different. The more you should breastfeed. Why? Because number one, Our first quote-unquote vaccine are our breast milk. Ang pinaka kung kuan pa initial vaccine nga ihatas, it has the antibodies gina-push kay as WHO would say, this is the best emergency intervention we give to our children. Gina-discourage ang mag-donate og formula milk because the safest jud in any calamity or in any emergency is breast milk. So, katong especially katong really into breastfeeding, the more we advocate for it because this is the best kung kuan pa, di ba, as moms, katong giingon ni point out ni mo ganiha ma'am nga, mahadlok ka, what if maigo og sakit akong anak, what should I do? This is one of the best things you could do. Breastfeed, the more you should not stop breastfeeding your child. It protects the child from infection. Plus, you give your child a certain form of security. Kay di ba, usa part sa social support is kanang physical man. So, when you're breastfeeding, you're holding your child, you're hugging your child, touching, caressing your child. So, that will give them a sense of security. Yeah, ikaw pod, while you're doing it, di ba there's a magic between the relationship of a mother and a child. Yung ikaw po, while you're doing it, mura kag mawa tanan nimong worries. Makalimot kasi yung kuan because when you look at your child, it's just so comforting. Hala no, kanang ako ning anak. Gwapa na lagi niya tayo. So, so it's actually very essential not just for the physical aspect of it but for our psychological mindedness as well nga kanang when you continue breastfeeding your child. Okay, so on the other end, what are things you could do with social support? We could show our support to we could talk to our family members through kani mga virtual na lang sa siya. Okay, we have to practice social distancing. Okay, nya. If for example, worst comes to worst, you according to kanang sa mga experts, if the mother becomes COVID positive, is it encouraged to continue breastfeeding? The decision was it should be a shared decision. They could still breastfeed kay mas higher daw ang risk compared sa dili i-breastfeed. Ironically, no, mas higher ang risk sa infection kung dili i-breastfeed. So, they just have to do some like respiratory and hand hygiene. So, in short, no question about we're on the right track about breastfeeding during this pandemic time. Okay. Next is number 2 is relaxation. There are so many forms to relax. Kung techie ka, you have so many options in the like in the net kung sa may imo mga mag-meditation ka or kung wala since you have all the time bisag mulingkod lang ka get a good book. You have to know as well what works for you. Ay kapi-kapi kuan man uban ma-relax jud ko kung mag-yoga ko nya you've never tried yoga at all. Na-stress ka kaya di mo ma-follow hinuon ang position. Okay? So do what works for you in the past. Other forms of relaxation like other people would do like things like muscle tension exercise kada mga kanang na feedback mechanisms pero mas technical na siya kanang mga basic lang even setting few minutes in a day for yourself. That's a good thing like mas better siya gina-recommend nga you set a schedule for relaxation. Kay usually kita, we ato na i-put aside. We want it, but we put it aside as moms. Diba? Kay, natug na si baby niya, maingon na din ka nga, hala no, ako pang andamon kani niya. Wala ka relax, kay you're so preoccupied about lots of things. So, a few minutes should be set aside every day. Okay. Next, healthy habits, kani. Bisag asa man nga situation, pero mo ni pinakalisod. Number 1, continue to eat healthy. Kay kung ma-stress ta, duha should na. Either mag-stress eating ta, labi na nga nanay deliveries ron, order dayo, no, lami ang mango float, lami ang kuan, mag-stress eating ta, or we don't eat at all. So the thing is, just eat healthy. Okay, that is very one of the important things to boost our immune system. Okay, second, sleep. Get enough sleep. Like I said, sleep right now is different. Dili siya may nga, ako'y time to sleep. Actually, more of different. I have more time to sleep, but I don't feel rested. Mo na problema karon na to. So, first and foremost, it is recommended that you have your own, kanang parehasa gyapon og schedule. Ayaw ganang pagsalig nga, I have all the time, magsige lang ko katog. Kaya compensate, katog bitaw ka trabaho ko. Ang tendency is, you don't feel rested after, mag-guilty ka kay, wa mo kayo ma-accomplish. Sige na kaghigda. Di kagabi, di ka katugon. Kay, naghigda raman ka the whole day. So, one of the things you could do are things like sleep hygiene. Some may mga examples of sleep hygiene. No caffeine after 3 p.m. as much as possible. Kay ang term kas balay. Caffeine would also come in different forms like kanang sa cola and all that. So, i-maintain gihapon ang uban mong mga routine even if we are on quarantine or on isolation. Okay. What else? They say ang sleeping disruption pod is a new norm. Lahi kanang it's normal that sometimes before you go to sleep you worry. Kay syempre kisa may abnormal na pod kung malipay ka nga nag-pandemic ta. So it's you get those worries but you have to manage ayaw katulog kung dili ka ma-relax. Kay expect na lang ang imong sleep ana interrupted. Mag-nightmares na hinuon ka kay sige kag huna-huna. Especially nga 'di ba at early age early time aning pandemic kay natin mga imagination nga tingalig mataptan kog virus, mahimo kog zombie. And even in your dreams, muna na manood sa imong huna-huna. So, make sure you also have set time nga time for sleep, relaxation na lang. Okay? Another thing is, it is recommended if you nga naman, kay kung mga negative na yung makitaan sa news, di ka katulog, ma-worry ka sa mot. Even galing, they would say as far as, if you wanna hear news, do it in the morning. At least, ang imong ma-process pa nimo during the day. Kaysa ka nang nai-instant news ang kagabi wala, mapraning-praning na ka, lano, naunsa na to, di ko katulog. So, it would eventually affect your sleep. Next, exercise. Dok, di man jud ko kanang gym fanatic bisag usaon jud. Then be creative. You could be very creative. Kanang kung ang TikTok pila lang ka seconds, compilation. You dance. Kanang that is a form of exercise. Do not allow yourself nga walay buhaton. Okay, anyway, you have all the time right now. If not, kung if you have a newborn baby, kanang imong pagsayaw-sayaw sa baby, that's already a form of exercise. So be creative because this exercise could not just increase your resilience, it could strengthen your immune system. So, other recommendations, number one, maintain a regular schedule as I've highlighted. Focus on practical activities that you can do. Ang problema na to kay tungod kay daghan kay tag time, magsige tag kuan nga gusto ko ing ani ako i-makeover akong room, ibutang ani niya iguman na stress ka kay di na makaya sa imong time. So, just focus on what you can do. Hinay-hinay lang god, basta na lang kay ma-accomplish. Kay usay labi na for working moms like us, daghan kita gusto dayon buhaton. Nya, igaan sa day, wa kay nabuhat bisag usa. Kay pag abli pa lang nimo sa room, nag-reminiscent na ka, uy, katong buntis ko. Wa na hinoy kay mabuhat. So, focus on practical activities. Number 3, keep a journal. What's the purpose of writing it down? Especially kung okay ka mag-journal. They say writing in a journal is like having a period of cooling off. Kanang masuwat ni mo imo emotion sa journal ba, and it will help you keep yourself grounded. And of course, continue to have a sense of humor.
Dili
Nga,
sa naman sige react sa mga social
just
media talk, no?
learn
Hala
how to
ka.
smile. Oh, kanang normal man nga masuko ta mo ang maangry ta pero usahay pod kanang wala na to pero kita pila lang kaadlaw murag suko kay ta wa kasabot nganong heavy man kay akong feeling nga kuha niya suko ka dai ka sa imong nakitaan sa Facebook yan. So have a little sense of humor because allowing joy in our lives at some difficult times will lighten your feelings. Yeah. Those negative emotions like anger, anxiety, malesen siya. So in short, in moments of uncertainty and we don't know what to do, there are certain things that they gihapon that we can be of control of.
Okay,
So
Doc. So,
lastly,
sorry, Doc. Just something on
yes,
that.
ma'am.
Kaya murag important point to Doc. So, it snowballs, Doc, the emotions. So, if mo reacta, in social media, man
Mm,
taga-rely karon tanan kay we're quarantined at home. Kung mo reacta negatively once, it snowballs and then it builds up.
okay.
No.
Yes.
So, mo
So
distansya, jud ta.
it di, kanang if di man should ma-avoid like for example sa ato newsfeed na siya mga friends nga quote unquote naga. Di ba niya? Di man po di mo siya pwede unfriend at this time kaya di ka gusto ba stress. So you could kung di should ma-avoid read through it but don't dwell on it. Kaya siya naka-move on na siya sa iyang anger. Ikaw kay lagot pagyapon ka, wa kay ba nga nung suko kay ka nga di ka involved. So you have also have to kumuna take control of what we can control of. And what we can control of, we cannot control your friend posting those negativities, but you can control how you react to what she is posting. Okay. So, kanina, last ko ang basic nga additions according to Philippine Council for Mental Health. Ilang recommendation. Number one, and this is also sort of a summary. Crisis has occurred. So, expect nga it will have some adverse reactions. Okay? Number two, it's okay not to feel okay. Kay, wika, ay, di ko pwede ma-anxious, kay dapat positive lang. It's okay sometimes to feel those kind of emotions. Engage in healthy activities. Facts minimize fear. So, kung naamang kay tan-awon nga mga unsa day updates or whatever, make sure it's a reliable source. Kaya daghan po mga fake news manggawas at this time. Like, moingon ba lang ang virus na nasa inyong silingan. Joke-joker dahil niya, ikaw kay mura na kag na-praning sa inyo ha. So, facts minimize fear niya. Ang katong recommendation lagi, you're not an epidemiologist nga dapat kabalo ka every details. Like, I remember pag sugod pala aning COVID, katong like COVID tracker, grabe yung mga tao mag-atang jud asa ang next patient. Hangtod na stress na sila kay uy nagkaduol. Yeah. In reality, they are not medically or walay effect walay direct impact sa ilaha. So sometimes you have to know certain facts but to a certain limit. Again, draw skills that have helped you in the past. If it makes you feel good nga mag-dancing ang imo kan, then continue to do it. Or this person you could talk to that person. Shift perspectives from number of deaths to number of recoveries. In short, it's just trying to say be more positive. And of course, especially for us, words do matter. Be careful of what you say, the use of words, kay maka-elicit nga og fear. Or sa imong family, like, igabot nimo yeah, mo ingon kalitso nga, murag na ko COVID positive. Yeah. Unsay pasabot ana. So sometimes we have to be careful with our use of words. Or for example, for some people, di sa kasabot usa ng pandemic, feeling nila ka na makita nila sa movie nga mahimong zombie ang mga tao after. So sometimes we also have to assess, especially when we're talking to our children. We don't have to make them understand fully. Like for example, na kay 5-year-old, you don't have to explain nga si coronavirus, mo pilit niya with your nasal discharge, nga they don't really give a damn. Ang ilala is to make them aware nga, you should do this, like wash your hands, because we don't want you to get sick. Ang alala ka simple, pero kita na-stress na to. Saan ka na ko pag-explain sa akong anak nga ang virus, ang ani, niya na koan. So, sometimes, we have to be conscious of the words we use. Okay. So, lastly, ako ra gud gapon nga gi-quote ang sa PCMH, ingon sila. Crisis has highlighted that we are connected as one community. Virus will only be contained if we all act as one. By being responsible and taking good care of ourselves, we are also taking good care of each other. So strength, determination, cooperation, kindness, and prayers will see us through these extraordinary times. Our connectedness, not our differences, is what matters now more than ever. So things like activities like this, even if we're distance away from each other, we already have the protected ourselves from potential mental health consequences later on by connecting with each other. Okay.
Alright. Thank you so much, Doc. So, now may mga questions, Doc, kay
Sure,
naay mga
sure, sure,
questions
ma'am.
sa among friends.
Okay, sure.
Ang common question nga akong na-receive from friends yesterday kay mga postpartum mommies.
Mm,
So, the fear for postpartum mommies kay small babies in this pandemic and then coping pa with changes, especially for first-time moms. So, um, what are good ways for postpartum moms to cope in times of COVID? Kasi nga, doble ang stress, kaya nga walay
correct.
tao, walay connection.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
so very, very good question siya ma'am kay pinakalisod partly ang postpartum moms. Kay number one, nabinag new mom pa ka first time mom. Number one, postpartum, makarelate siya ta aning gitawag og kaning roller coaster ride of emotions. Di ba kanang first time after ta mga anak, which is biological po with the hormones going back to normal, kanang mas anxious ka, mas dali ka ma-depress, mas kanang reactive ka, irritable ka. That's one factor kay postpartum. First time, ma'am, stress pod ka kay when you don't know what to do. Am I doing this right? Ikatulo, napajud pandemic. Murag all in one na murag what if pataptan akong anak? What if kanang paggikan ako sa hospital na aday to ni positive wala migi pa kanang mga certain thoughts like that. So we go back to it, the recognition number one of our emotions. So thoughts sa siya daan. Dili ta niya okay ra ko kay kasagaran nga not okay are those who say immediately nga kanang di ko dapat mo feel ani nga emotions. We have to recognize that the emotions are there, but like I've said, do not dwell with the emotions nga ay na-depress ko di na lang ko mulihok kay tingalig maunsa. So here comes recognition nga wait, I'm feeling this but musud ayon atong logical or thinking mind nga oh okay na nga balaka ka but you don't have to really worry a lot kay na may nam kay pwede mabuhat. Second, i-heighten jud mo to kong reiterate i-heighten jud ang social support. Kay sometimes kita logic gusto ka mahimong logical pero you really need somebody to tell you nga I'm just here. Kung muhila ka, sometimes I tell my patients ka na mag-postpartum, if there is a moment in the day that you have to cry, hilak lang. Talk to somebody, hilak lang. Kung man na, ma-relieve ka, then continue with what you're doing. Kay motherhood for a start, there's no real kanang subject nga motherhood ba nga. Basahon nimo step 1, step 2. So, it's very comforting if there's somebody who talks to you nga, oy normal, okay lang na, oy ako po nagingana. So that's where things like this, like virtual lactation groups could help. And of course, very importantly, heighten nila ang ilahang pag-breastfeed. Okay, like I said, it has both physical and psychological benefits for the child. Kung mayon ka, what is the best weapon nila is katugapon, follow the protocols, like for example, social distancing. Kung pwede, ayaw sa isuroy inyong bata. Kaya, di ba, usay magkawat-kawat na ba yung suroy sa silingan, especially for newborns, ayaw lang sa. And of course, continue breastfeeding your child because that's the best kung kuan pa vaccine you could give your child.
Alright, thanks, Doc. Narin mga nangabot nga questions, Doc. But before
Oh,
that,
sure.
so, laging sa akong
Mhm.
gamay. So, to
Oh,
our
sure.
viewers today, comment heart below for a raffle entry and you will win 100 peso load or one Bible storybook from Librohan. So, actually, ganun kumapila na nga raffle kaya wala pa yung may Bible book ako. It's a really cute book. Get to know, Jesus and faith, especially in times of COVID, and share it in a cute way with your kids. So comment heart for a raffle entry below, and whoever wins, our team will reach out on how to send the prizes to you. Okay, so balik na sa question, Doc.
Okay.
So ang first question nga gi-send ani Doc is, how do I cope with the anxiety while at home, reading news about the rapid increase in COVID-19 cases in the Philippines? Would you
Mm.
advise a social media detox?
Uh, depending on your kadang situation, like if you don't really have to know a lot, like for example, your like I said, di ka statistician or epidemiologist, basic information would be enough. You don't have to like monitor every day kung nag-increase, nag-decrease. Like limit kay di man jud so ideal ma-detox pero it's very hard also nga mag-total social media detox ka because you could also get some help kanang mga recommendations, mga positive things from social media. Mo lang na di lang nato kayo ma-save ba kung unsa imong makita. So limit mo na for example sa news. Recommendation is hearing one news once in a day like in the morning will be enough. Ayaw na sig follow up kung after kuan na unsa ka to gitest ko na si kuan after pila ka hours magsige ka pangita na unsa ka to positive negative, it will create more anxiety. Or kanang you don't have to subscribe like unsay DOH updates if it stresses you out. Or for example, you're a practitioner in the medical field and you have to really be updated. Kana you have to limit how much you have to get nga information. Kay like I've said, normal na jud nga ma-anxious ta kung magka-rise up. Kay mahadlok po ka makatawa ka uy nagka-increase na, I'm so excited. Kuyaw po na mas abnormal na siya.
Yeah. So personally, actually, to the mommy who asked about social media detox, I agree with Doc. It's your own personal prerogative. Kay naaman sa social connections nga mag-gain na to from social media. Like this one, this talk right here, this is very helpful. So if you just choose to subscribe to things that will help you cope with anxiety, it will truly help. And if you know unsay triggers nimo, like if ma-trigger ka with negative news, then unsubscribe or unfollow negative news. Nadi ko yung nakitaan gabi idok, and I would like to share with everyone, all the
Mm.
moms and daddies, whoever are watching today. I got this from a friend. Four S's to remember for COVID-19. The first S is stop the blaming. Number two is share what is helpful. Three, support the stigmatized. And lastly, select the right words. So, when it comes to social media, as per Doc kanina, you cannot control what your friends post, but you can control how you react. So, just
Correct.
um, just tone down siguro on the anger or the hate because it's not helping. As per doc, it snowballs and it builds up and mulinger siya sa ato ang buhanan. So, mas samot ma-negative ato ang emotion. So, just that, amo na nga, humor na usually share na ko this time because dali ang sad ko ma-stress, doc, actually. And nine good question, Ari Doc. Question number two. What are the indications that I need to seek professional help? Are there online help options in Bohol right
Okay.
now?
Yes. Okay. If the symptoms are already gana mo quote unquote dysfunctional na ka, like it really intrudes nga di nakahapit makalihok or you feel paralyzed na or it's very strong na kayo nga you can't even perform your normal daily activities, then maybe this is one of the signals nga you really have to ask for help. And we are so blessed here in Bohol kay prior to this pandemic, I am sure some of you have heard, there are already three groups nga nanggawas diri for mental health. And I'm so happy na natay gitawag og kanang gitawag na ang pagpakabuhi. There's the Project Bohol and Kalinaw sa Tagbilaran based nga group. So you could maybe after this I have the list of kaning sa for example sa pagpakabuhi. There are group of volunteers, all sectors of kanang in the community, plus na jud pud sila psychologist who could answer your concerns. Kanang masurahan jud ba? So after this, I will just send it to the admin kung unsa ila mga contact numbers para ma-post kung asa sila maka-reach out if they need to. Kay mo nang makaingon ta nga another blessing kay supposedly these groups were created katugaling pag-rise up sa mga suicide cases sa Bohol. That's when this group sprouted. But fortunately, it was to kanang in a way preparation kay there is something more that would challenge us here in Bohol. So we're so blessed nga nananing nga mga grupuhan. Though for now, because of the social distancing, they discourage nga mo adto sa ilang centers or even ako galimit ko sa ako clinic because of the physical interaction nga ginalimit sa nato for this time. But you could really freely call them nya. On the other end pod, ang trending now worldwide is what you call as telemedicine,
Yes.
virtual
Consultation.
consultations as necessary. Naara po na, there are certain apps that you could go to or there are certain groups nga mo
Yeah.
cater for that.
So,
So, it's
murag
nothing really
Zoom,
nga
pag-Zoom mo, Doc. So, nanay face-to-face but online interaction. Hala.
online lang kay para na social distancing.
So, na-happy ko, Doc, because knowing na nanay support yun sa Bohol. So, it's actually new information to me. I heard about the suicide helplines, yes, but to divert from that issue to this one is a really big step forward for us Baholanos. Kaya we're using technology and medicine at the same time to help people online. So yes,
Yes.
so we would be
Yes.
interested to get that info later so we can share with everyone. And also, Boholana Mommy Tribe support group, you can message us anytime if you have questions, concerns, and dili kay kami ang mutubag ana o wala minakahibaw. But we have networks of professionals like Dr. Joy who can help with answering questions that are related to mommyhood. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
question number three. Oh, kanina isa siya to. What can our husbands or other family members um, in helping uh, other members in helping me control my anxiety? So what can they do in to help me
Okay.
control my anxiety?
Okay. So balik gyapon ta sa social support. Um breastfeeding in itself, di ba? If I remember, like, magbasa ko mga, kay member from the time I started breastfeeding, member na ko kato, sa Cebu lang to nga, kanang support group. Sometimes, usapod sa mga negative kaayo, our own family members, or even our husbands. So I think one way is first we have to make them understand our choice. Like for example, sa breastfeeding sa ta, our choice to breastfeed, we should be discussing it with our husband para suportaan ta. Kaya it will create more anxiety kung ikaw lang. Di sila kasabot ba kay syempre they want, as typical, they want it the easy way. Okay? So for example, for some of my patients, I would tell, when I discuss with their husband, I really tell them nga what she's feeling is dili kanang ang ilang mong term nga drama lang. We really have to highlight them nga sa family members nga the person feels this way and you have to acknowledge their feelings. Being you say nga you're feeling a bit much better, ikaw mo set og boundaries. Dili ikaw ang first mo judge nila for feeling that way. Kaya ang tendency is, maingon man ang husband niya, lagi daw ka drama na pod. Diba? So ikaw, the more ka ma-anxious nga, should I feel this? Nga, ingno na pod ko nga drama or kanang di na lang kumutingog until eventually mubuto na ka. So, number one, to show support is not necessarily nga pagbigyan pug kakanunay. It's setting the limits niya. Kana simple reassurance, words of reassurance, even a hug from families would calm you down. Or for example, since nalaman mo duha sa balay, for example, magsabot mo nga, oy, for example, every 5 o'clock ha, kay kuanta, sayaw-sayaw, tas gawas, or something. Yan na. So, you have to create creative activities together para indirectly, it's not really nga, minta nga, oy, how do we combat anxiety? It's more of activities nga makapaboost ninyo psychologically. And then you will not just realize nga, oy, na-help na I control akong anxiety because I could sense my husband is very supportive. For family members, kung nasud sa balay, kana, same thing, talk to them, maminaw sila nimo, not necessarily give you advice, kay kita, when we're anxious, what you advise mo so sa tong otok, it's more of reassuring them nga, we're just here. Okay? Or we do things together. Kung wala pod ang family member, magyapon, the recommendation is virtual support. They even say, this is the time to be very creative. Creative on how to show support towards other people. So, for example, imong family member, frontliner, pwede nimo padadaan baron og notes, mga ana. So, this is where the best time to show support in a creative way.
Oh, so most of the atong mental exercise, doc, how to be creative in showing care in the time of
Yes.
COVID.
Oh, sakto.
Na ko yung follow-up question, doc, kay murag kanang na ako murag interesting facts nga na-pick up sa imong answer. So, ang Filipino mentality, doc, is na polar opposite sa akong na-observe sa with people I know kanang ug mag postpartum or naay anxiety ang usa ka tawo, not just moms, any person naantay pagbigyan versus mugara mentality. So unsa
Mm.
man jud ang sakto, pagbigyan ang naay anxiety or moingon kag no because mugara ra ka mag-anxiety na kakapunay kay murag maanad ka nga kapunay kapag bigyan.
Mm. Middle. This one, middle. Kay, number one, i-acknowledge na to, kung na-siya anxiety ang atong family member, i-acknowledge na to, nga wala siya gadrama. Kay mailhan man nimo jud pod hinoon kung gadrama lang or real symptomatic. Kay ang real symptomatic, maklaro jud mo nga uncomfortable jud siya kaayo. Pero dili pod nga gi-acknowledge na to pagbigyan. If we know nga sobra na, we have to set limits. Kay if you continually give in sa iyahang demands, kay di ba mahadlok ta nga, sige na lang kay ma-stress niya sa mot, mabuang na hinoon, di ba, the misconception ana. Ang tendency is she will not learn to develop skills of dealing with the situation. Kinaamang ka mo catch niya all the time.
So when do we start? When do we
Like,
start
I
reacting
have
to
a
our
patient nga,
and doing something for them?
uh, if you know the person, you would know when what is too much. Murag person to person case, di ba? Like, for example, ako patient, for example, grabe ka anxious, to the point nga gusto niya ang iyang husband dili mo tapad niya kung muhatching. I mean kanang kay ni hatching lang, di niya gusto mo tapad the whole night. Kay mapraning siya nga what if kuno, what if matakdan siya, ana. I told her, the more you should learn, kay di man kaka-avoid nga na people around you nga mo sneeze. Kung imo siyang anaron nga very baby nimo nga secure jud mo siya, ang tendency is gamay lang nga butang ma-trigger iyang anxiety. So you have to allow her to learn. Like for example, kung kuan pa din naman niya, tapad gihapon pero ino nimo nga kanang make sure lang nga you cover your mouth, yung mga ingana nga basic ba. So actually person to person siya kay mas kailaman ka sa imong family member. Kung kani siya murag sobra ra, I should set some boundaries. Pero ang number one is imo sa i-recognition kung anxiety na ni siya, ayaw jud iditsog ingon nga gadrama lang. Kaya like for example, a simple kung you're the type of partner po nga yaw-yawan, sample imong husband daghan kay yaw-yaw, drama na. Being silent is already a help. Kaya magyaw-yaw si ang wife nga, no, nakuyawan na pod ko, ana niya. Basta puton ka kay ka nga ayaw lagi niya sa yaw-yaw gihapon. So just keep quiet. Nya once murag makuan na siya sa iyang gi-express, that's when you start talking. See? Okay ra ka. So kaya day nimo. So I'm just here. So it's actually case to case depende sa type of kanang relationship you have or unsaon nimo pagkaila ang imuhang partner.
So self-awareness, doc, is key.
Correct. Yes.
You know when to tingog, you know when not to tingog para step back ka and you can have an
Mm.
objective view of the situation that your
Yes.
partner is.
Yes. Yes.
Alright. So hope na-answer na mo ang question adto mami. Another one, Doc. We talked about eating healthy earlier. So this is a follow-up of that. Like, are there any foods that can improve mood? Like, they know down na saging, nuts, and chocolate can improve mood and give endorphins. Na ba particular food nga ngayon ka,
Mm.
oh, eat more of this karon, like eat more of bago
Yes.
karon kay aron magbago ka.
uh, there's a certain field na in medicine nga deals with culinary and food. Nya na sila yung mga gitawag nga mood food. So like for example, kana like they say bananas is it has serotonin, so kuan pero there's no real wala pa joy kanang from recommendation nga you eat more bananas or you eat more like this. It's ang gina-recommend lang for now is eat healthy. Or may mga basic like for example, those with sleeping problems, they recommend taking chamomile tea. May ana lang pero kung may kag ka na yung mga ingon nga imagine ni ha para mo prevent there's no recommendations yet kung unsa but like I've said it's on a study nga we recognize nga na gitawag og mga mood food like for example some people would feel good after eating chocolates. Ang problema kung sige na kag chocolate, ni-gain ka og weight, na-stress ka kay ni-gain ka og weight,
The
it's not good
diabetes.
anymore. So, kanang you have to like kay anything man good you like, it signals your brain a sense of pleasure. So, di punta ko like for example, ako di ko makaog chocolate pero kay ako others feel happy after eating chocolate. Kung pugson ka nimo pakaog chocolate, ma-depress ko kay nganong gipugos ko pakaog chocolate. So sometimes you also have to know kanang what makes you feel good, makes you feel happy.
So
Pero
everything you like in moderation.
yes, so
Oh.
it's more of eating healthy and appropriately put.
So kung na mood food, Doc, that helps you feel good, na boy bad mood food na we need to avoid?
Uh,
Is
ang
there
ginako of course the
something?
unhealthy food like for example, too much alcohol. Kay remember alcohols are depressant. So, somewhat, bibi, at the time nga nag-inom ka, murag you feel good, kay murag na-relieve ang imuhang gibate, kay naka-express ka, pero igawa po sa alcohol, search down, pagka, kay depressant man ang alcohol. So, those are things you avoid, or excessive nga mga unhealthy food, like for example too much fats and all that, kay the consequences of it would also affect your immune system, and it would also affect how you feel during the day. Like for example, if you eat too much, for example, imbis mahappy ka mukaon og cake, yeah, you have just consumed one whole cake because you want to be happy and you feel bad after. So dili na siya
It
di na
defeats the
siya ni play
purpose.
siyang purpose. Oh, it defeats the purpose kay haloy nahurot na kung usa ka cake imbis mikaon ako gamay para ma-happy ko. So it's all still going back to moderation and kuan healthy
Balance.
eating. Oh, balance healthy eating.
Thank you, Doc. Nga. Na ay last question, Doc. It's
Sure.
actually sort of personal. Ingon si Mami na ay times nga feeling nimo okay na ka, like normal na tanan nimo, pero there are certain videos or shows na mo trigger nimo, makagilak lang ka.
Mm.
Is there something wrong with her? Like stress na ba
Mm.
siya or magpa-doktor na ba daw siya?
Mm. Mo nang gingon, she's human. Kay di ba like kita like ang every day we have different emotions. Mo bitaw it's okay not to be okay all the time. Kay mo bitaw na purpose pud sa some movies is to elicit our emotions. Ang problema lang is usahay naman tay mga gitawag og medyo sensitive kaayo nga after mo watch og movie murag days pa before ma-detox sa imong mind to ang effect sa movie. So, ang tendency is ayaw lang sa if you're the type of person, especially at this time nga stressful, ayaw lang sa i-expose imong self. Pero having a roller coaster of emotions is normal. That's how we are created. Nga we are allowed to experience a lot of emotions. Ang problema lang is if we dwell only on the negative emotions. Kaya naapoy uban nga, when they feel happy, mag-guilty sila nga na-happy sila kay gaugma mahilak na kuno sila. When in fact, they should savor the fact that they're happy. So, feeling those emotions to that mommy, you're just being human.
So,
Bitaw.
um, just distinguish fact from fiction siguro, mommy. Like, if you're watching a
Mm,
movie, just realize na, oh, it's just a movie. Dili siya tinuod. So, para dili kog ka ma-stress kaayo. Daghan na ba kayong Korean drama karon, Dok? Kanang mga kabit-kabit,
oh,
nilang tanawan, mamuot lagi ko
correct.
post sa Facebook.
Correct.
Ako
Mo
kay ba
nang
og
mang
na-happy ba sila or na-stress nga na-quarantine nag-watch anang ilaang mga shows.
oh.
Alam
I
mo.
think that's one topic jud kay murag mo consume nag usa ka our discussion, especially that particular kuan sa Lida.
No, thank you. All right, so the hour is almost up. I'd like to remind those mommies who are watching to comment hard below, in order for you to get one raffle entry and win 100 load and one Bible story book from Librohan. So, Doc, thank you kaayo sa
Sure,
pag-attend
anytime.
today. Hopefully, we will have more talks and more topics, not just about COVID, but everything mommy related. To those who are attending today, if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out. And I would like to give the floor now to the other mommies to talk, like Mommy Nicole first, if there's anything she wishes to discuss. Again, thank you so much, Doc Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc Joy. And also, I'd like to remind the mommies na kung ganahan mo na ay specific topic nga you'd like us to discuss for the following week since daghan tag time due to the quarantine, we would like to help you with that. So, pwede nyo i-comment down below or i-PM me para we can have someone, a professional, to be with us for the next week's pod.
Yes, and on that note, I would like to invite everyone. Next Saturday, we have another topic. It's going to be, although the title is still tentative, it's going to be Golden Moms, how to keep empty nests busy. So this topic is for the more um, senior moms, how to help you cope nga nangaminyo na ang anak or nanarbaho ang anak og laing lugar unya kamo na lang sa imong bana or ikaw na lang with other relatives in your home. So I think that's a really good topic. It's a very interesting topic as we segue towards Mother's Day and we recognize all types and ages of mothers. All right. So I think I'm good. Anyone else has a question for Doc Joy?
Let's see. Let's check if nabay questions alive.
And unsaon day ang draw ani mami after nasa show we will just announce or during.
During, we
Okay,
will be
during.
raffling it off live. Yun.
Okay, sige sige. So I'll give the floor to you.
Okay, sige. So, Carla, are we ready? So, ang first na to i-raffle is the 100 peso load. Asa man atong wheel. Wheel of Fortune.
Ang
Wheel.
lumpia.
May tuyok-tuyok pa. There.
Asa ma'am?
Oh, sige. So, pila man ang ni-qualified for sa atong raffle? Pila man ni kabuok? Daghan. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Sige, go. Spin na.
Yeah. Right. So Boholana Mommy Tribe just started no recently and we're just gaining our foothold and audience in the Bohol community. So hopefully in the next coming weeks mas mudaghan ta, mas mudaghan ang moapil aning roulette of prices and mo-grow sa dato ang prices. Char.
So, ang first winner is kamala announce. Di ko kaklaro on my end. Sorry.
Murag
Alea,
evangelista.
Alelea Evangelista
Alelea.
Maluanda.
Sige, Mami, are you here? If naa ka, can you PM us your number, any of the admins or moderators sa group? PM your number para maloadan ka na mo. So, another
Alelea
one,
Evangelista Maluenda.
Alwenda.
Congratulations.
So, another load, under another 100 peso load to the next lucky mom.
Jana Marie Seth. Or Jonah. Sorry. Jonah Marie
Jonah.
Seth.
Congratulations, Mami Jonah. Can you, if nakakaloan, PM me your number or any of the admins. So, ang atong grand prize is one Bible story book from our sponsor, Librohan. You can check them out on Facebook. Librohan ang name sa ilang Facebook page. On Instagram, it's librohan.ph. Napod ni sila sa Shopee. Ang ilang link will be in the next post. Sige, so let's do the raffle.
Juris! Uy, kaila ko ano eh.
Ay, wow, Juris.
Wave na na, oy, wave.
Wave na. Big boy na, big boy na.
Juris, ikaw, Sniff. Congrats, Juris. For winning the book from Librohan. Sige, we will have Mami Jeddah or the Librohan team PM you the details on how to claim your raffle.
Alright, thank you. And mag-follow up lang ta later para sa katong hotline numbers nga i-provide ni Doc
Mhm.
Joy for mental health support, especially in the time of COVID. So, thank you so much, mommies, for tuning in today, to my Boholana Mommy Tribe sisters for being on this show, and see you again this weekend.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you,
Alright, bye
everyone.
guys.
Bye
Bye.
Bye.
bye.